Hello there, it's Aussie Star Wars Nerd, and today we're going to take a look at the full life story of CT-5555, or better known as Fives. Like all clones, Fives was born on Kamino from the genetic template of Jango Fett. During his training as a cadet, he was a member of Domino Squad, along with 4 other clone cadets being Echo, Heavy, Droidbait, and Cut Up. During the final stages of Domino Squad's training, they were put through a challenging combat simulation that would test to see if they would be able to face combat on the front lines or not. The test required the entire squad to work as a team, but they were too reckless to succeed. To make matters worse for Domino Squad, they were being trained by 2 bounty hunters that had been hired by the Republic. One of them, whose name was Brick, had very little faith in Domino Squad. However, the other bounty hunter, El Les, had much more faith in them. After Domino Squad failed the test, Fives and his fellow cadet Echo spoke to Jedi Master Shaak Ti, who was in charge of overseeing the clones on Kamino. They spoke to her about a squad transfer. Shaak Ti told them that they had been given one more chance to pass the test, and as they attempted to climb the Citadel for the last time, all was going well, until they realized that they didn't have their ascension cables, as Brick had taken them away. The clones managed to find another way up by helping each other climb the walls, jumping onto turrets. They then quickly made it to the top, beating the challenge. This resulted in the squad's transfer to an outpost on the Rishi Moon. There they were led by Sergeant O'Niner. They were the only line of defense against a full separatist invasion, and the initial droid force that invaded the outpost was made up of only commando droids. The droids quickly entered the base and killed O'Niner and Droidbait, leaving only Fives, Echo, Cut Up, and Heavy alive. The 4 clones managed to escape to the outside of the base, but were quickly ambushed by a Rishi eel that eats Cut Up. The rest of them managed to scare off the eel by firing at it, and they sent a flare to Captain Rex and Commander Cody, who had just landed on the base for a routine inspection. Rex and Cody rappelled down from the landing platform, meeting the survivors where they decided to retake the outpost. Rex tricks the commando droids into opening the blast doors of the base, and they begin to change the signal of the base to a distress call. As a new and much larger wave of battle droids approaches the base, the clones change their plans to destroying the outpost so that they can alert the Republic of the invasion. As they rig the base to blow, they are forced to escape through a maintenance hatch, leaving Heavy behind as he continues to fight the droids until his blaster jams, and he is forced to sacrifice himself in order to blow up the base and get the Republic's help. This allowed Fives, Echo, Rex, and Cody to be rescued from the moon. The 2 survivors of Domino Squad are then given a place in the 501st Legion, going on to defend Kamino against the Separatists before becoming ARC troopers. Fives and Echo remained very close throughout some of their missions, up until they were both assigned to a mission with Anakin Skywalker, Obi-Wan Kenobi, and Ahsoka Tano to rescue Jedi Master Even Piell from the Separatist Citadel located on the planet Lola Sayu. The mission started with multiple clone deaths, but it wasn't until the group was attempting their escape that Echo met his presumed death, after attempting to make a run for the shuttle that they needed to escape. If you have seen Season 7 of the Clone Wars or Bad Batch, then you would know Echo is still alive, but Fives didn't. As the mission continued, they made their way to a rendezvous point, where they were saved by Republic forces. Fives' next mission in the war was at the Battle of Umbara under the leadership of Pong Krell. All of Pong Krell's missions were known to be successful, but have high casualty rates, something that many of the 501st clones at Umbara were not happy with. Their mission was to take the capital city on the planet, but as the battles continued, more and more clones died to the Umbarans because of Krell's strategies, and Fives had had enough of it. He felt that Krell was leading them all blindly to their deaths. After speaking to Rex about it, who originally told him not to do anything, he eventually allowed Fives and Hardcase to go behind Krell's back on a mission to capture Umbara starfighters. This decision by the 3 of them resulted in a victory, but Pong Krell was not happy about it. The battle was nowhere near over, however. As the area around the base continued to be hit by missiles, Fives and Hardcase came up with another plan. They were going to use the captured Umbaran starfighters to sneak into the supply ship that was reinforcing the city and blow it up from the inside. Fives learnt that he could do this from Anakin, who told Fives about the time he did it at the Battle of Naboo when he was a kid. After they told the plan to Rex, Rex spoke to Pong Krell about it. Krell of course denied them permission to do it, but after Fives spoke to other clones, both Hardcase and Jesse agreed to do it anyway. The 3 of them jumped into the starfighters and flew off while the other clones they shared a room with were asleep. When one of the clones in the room, whose name was Dogma, woke up and saw the 3 were gone, he woke up Tup and they went to speak to General Krell about it, before Captain Rex, who knew about Fives' mission, stopped them. Fives and the others then flew into the battle and successfully passed the Umbaran and Separatist forces, entering the supply ship. They blew through the walls blocking their path all the way until they made it to the final one that was blocked by a ray shield. The droids in the supply ship began shooting at them, leaving Hardcase with only one option: to jump out and blow it up by pushing the missile into the ship's core systems, sacrificing himself but saving Fives and Jesse along with the rest of the 501st that would have all been killed when Krell ordered them to march towards the city. So how was Fives rewarded for his bravery? By being sent to be executed by Krell. Fives and Jesse were lined up against a wall and were ordered to be executed by clones Kix, Tup, and a few others. Dogma ordered the clones to shoot at Fives and Jesse, and right as he was about to tell them to fire, Fives delivers a speech that convinces them all to miss intentionally. When Krell found out about this, he ordered Rex to explain to him what had happened, but they were interrupted by a transmission from a clone trooper saying that the enemy might be wearing clone armor. Krell orders Fives and Jesse to be put back in a cell, and all the other clones are sent to attack. Those of you who have seen the Umbara arc would know what really happens is that Krell tricks the 501st and the 212th, who were also on the planet, into shooting each other. Once they find out, the two legions join together and confront Krell, led by Captain Rex. Rex freed Fives and Jesse, and they all went together to find Krell. Once they do, the fallen Jedi reveals his true intentions and that he wanted to join Dooku, before killing most of the clones nearby and running into the Umbaran jungle. He continued to kill the clones that followed him before Tup lured him into a trap, allowing him to stun Krell. Rex, Fives, and the other clones then put him in a cell before they decided they would have to execute him. And while Rex couldn't bring himself to do it, Dogma, who was also arrested for siding with Krell, grabbed Fives' blaster and shot Krell himself. This brings us on to the Battle of Ringo Vinda, in which Rex, Fives, and some other 501st members, led by Anakin Skywalker, team up with Commander Doom and his unit that was led by Jedi Generals Tip Lee and Tip La. As the battle continues, the clones slowly start making more and more ground, until 501st Trooper Tup walks up and shoots Tip La. He was then quickly arrested by Fives before the Republic forces made a retreat. Admiral Trench, who was leading the Separatist forces, had seen what had happened and reported it to Count Dooku, who ordered them to capture Tup and stop him from leaving the planet. So when Tup was sent away on a shuttle en route for Kamino, Trench deployed super battle droid rocket troopers and buzz droids that killed every clone on board apart from Tup, who they took back to Ringo Vinda. Trench ordered Tup to be sent on a shuttle away from the battle, but as the shuttle was leaving, Rex, Fives, and Anakin grappled onto the shuttle and took control of it. Rex and Fives then brought Tup back to Kamino so that they could fully examine what went wrong. Kaminoan scientist Nala Se tells Fives that it might have been a result of a virus, and that Nala Se would have to see if it had affected Fives too, asking him to stay on the planet. As Fives became more and more suspicious of the Kaminoans, he took matters into his own hands and did a scan on Tup's brain himself. This was where he discovered what he thought was a tumour. What he had actually found was Tup's inhibitor chip, which was damaged from an unknown reason. Fives removed the chip from Tup's head, but Tup ended up dying because of what had happened. Fives then passed all of his medical tests to make sure he was fine, and was about to be sent back to the front lines, when the medical droid AZ-3 tells Fives the Kaminoans were going to wipe Tup's brain and send him to work in maintenance, like Clone 99. This changed Fives' plans completely, as he took Tup's inhibitor chip from before and went to conduct some more tests with the help of AZ-3. He then discovered that the chip was designed to be there, and was inserted to the clones from birth. This prompted Fives to remove his, where he discovered what the chips would normally look like if they weren't damaged. Once he found this out, he was quickly found by Nala Se, where she covered up the inhibitor chip's full purpose by saying they were there to stop the clones from being too aggressive. Fives didn't buy the Kaminoan story and convinced Shaak Ti to let him speak to Palpatine about it. On the way to Coruscant, Fives was injected with some sort of drug by Nala Se and was unable to convince Shaak Ti of the truth. Of course, Palpatine already knew everything, so it was pointless him trying to convince the Chancellor. Palpatine then insisted he speak to Fives privately, where he would frame Fives as attempting to kill him, forcing him to flee into the Coruscant underworld, where he would find Kix in a clone bar. He convinced Kix to contact Anakin Skywalker and Rex so he could talk to them about what had happened, and they both arrived exactly where Fives had asked Kix to tell them to. That was when he trapped them in a ray shield. He then explained everything that had happened, but was interrupted by Commander Fox and the Coruscant Guard. In a moment of desperation, with his mind still clouded by Nala Se's drug, he grabbed one of Rex's blasters that was outside of the ray shield and aimed it at Fox, but Fox shot first. With Fives' death, the war continued as normal, with the Jedi still unaware of the inhibitor chip. It wouldn't be until the final 2 episodes of the Clone Wars when Order 66 had begun that Fives' sacrifice would help a Jedi, that being Ahsoka Tano. When Palpatine gave the order to Rex and the 332nd Legion, Rex would resist for a few seconds, telling Ahsoka to find Fives. This allows her to access data logs on the Venator, giving her information about the inhibitor chip, saving herself and Rex from Order 66. And that is the full life of Fives. He is by far my favourite clone trooper, and I hope that one day we see more of him. Thank you for watching, and may the Force be with you.